And there we are. Good evening, good evening, good evening. We got Janet's in the house, JJ's here, Nastra Dumbass, Dale from Ohio, Morning Light is in the house. All right, let's see. Kathy's here. Carolyn, nice to see you. Good to see everybody. Don't you know what? Don't start with me. God, you have no idea how much she's been driving me out of my freaking mind today. I mean, when I'm talking that this dog feels the need to be straight up my behind, I just let her out again for like a half an hour before this live stream. I was doing the private live stream. I let her out. It's like she's driving me nuts. She's been very needy. Why are you so needy? Huh? I don't know what her deal is. But anyway, welcome everybody. Before we jump into anything and get started, I just want to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up with the blue shields will boot you out of here. We're not going to tolerate it. We're not going to put up with it, okay? Just being honest ahead of time so nobody can say, well, I don't know why they kicked me out. You know exactly why, all right? So anyway, again, let's have a nice chat and enjoy each other. Again, real quick, if you haven't shot that thumbs up yet, please do so to show support for the channel. It really does make a big difference with the algorithms, and I thank you for that. Also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right, so I did the same exact title today as I did from Wednesday, because Wednesday I had a whole thought process in mind, and then I went off on a rant. And I never talked about the topic. Time is running out, right? Time is running out. So we're going to get into that here in just a minute. I'll give you a couple quick updates with everything. So people were asking a lot of questions on the first video that I did today. The neighbors had their property surveyed because they were looking at a hunting app, and they thought that the property line was quite a bit further over. Like literally they thought it was on the other side of my driveway over. And so they had hired a surveying team. So it was a surveying team that works for the county. They had come out and they were here today to check and see exactly where the property lines were. And now, to be clear about something, okay? When I bought my property, the kid had bought his property 6 months before, maybe a year before I bought mine. We were both told, here's the pin up in the corner. So we knew the pin, where the pin was up in the corner. So we knew where that was. And then they had pieces of wood driven into the ground down the line. So we both assumed that that was the property line, right? So when he put his fence up, because he said eventually he wants to put horses in here, when he put that fence up, he put it in what he thought was a foot off of the line, okay? And then he saw this hunting app, and the hunting app said something completely different, saying that, a lot more of the land that was on my side was his. So he had told me last year in the fall, he said, I'm probably going to have somebody come in and survey it so we can figure out exactly where the line is. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. It happens, right? So it's his, it's his right to find out exactly where his property line is. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Okay. So, it is what it is. I have no issue with it. The one building, a part of the front of it, and I showed it in the video, is actually on his property. The back corner was not. Okay. But we're going to pull that building over quite a ways over more onto my property so that it doesn't interfere. My sign, PN one way, I'm going to pull that out and move that further over as well. Not a big deal. What it basically means, what does it mean, right? At the end of the day, less grass for me to cut. That's what it means. So that's where I'm at with that. Not a big deal. I talked with them. We were both had misunderstanding as far as what we thought was the property line. Now, I did get a map of what my property was when I bought it, right? So I knew that that other part of the meadow was, the neighbors. We, of course, we weren't off that much, as far as, and I offered to buy that parcel down through there, of land, and he said he didn't want to do that. Okay, right, average Joe's life. So they didn't want to do that, and I had said to him, I said, well, if you want me to, I will continue to maintain it. It's not a big deal to me either way. And he goes, well, no, I'd rather have you not do that. He said, because don't even start. You are not going out. You were just outside. So no, stop. Not tonight. No. Sorry. I'm telling you, she's been a pain in my behind all day long. In the last couple days. I don't know what's your problem, but you've already been outside twice in the last hour. So no. Yes, the surveyors were an actually licensed company. Yes, they were. Yep. They weren't friends of theirs working for them. It wasn't that. So stop. No. I said no. See what this is what I'm talking about. I've been dealing with this all freaking the last several days. She's been way more than normal. But anyway, so I talked to Paul and Barbara already. They're good with it. They understand that they're going to have to move their building over. It's not a big deal. So yeah, so that's that's kind of where that's at. But no, she was she came in 3 minutes before the live stream started. So no, she does not have to. No, she was out. She was out during the first live stream that I did. She was out right after no, God, no. She went into heat last fall. And man, no, she didn't go nowhere near nobody. No more puppies. Oh, good news on that front. I'll tell you about that real quick. Yeah, she's a drama shepherd queen. You think? She off kilter because Tank's been in the house? I don't know. I know she was not happy about that. So anyway, had a young man come yesterday, and I gave him the last male puppy. So obviously I'm keeping Tank. So the last male puppy's gone. I have one female puppy left, and it looks like Sandy's going to take that female puppy. So all the puppies will be gone except for Tank, and it looks like Sandy's obviously going to take Zeus as well. So we'll know in a couple weeks. We have our get together in a couple weeks, so we'll know more then. So I mean, I'm sure I'll talk to her before then, but we'll get it all figured out, ahead of time. So anyway, so all good. Most of the puppies are now gone, which is awesome. We got 2 puppies in there with Kali at the moment, so it's nice. When it was 8 of them, and they're all full of energy and rock and roll, and that was pretty wild. Okay, so let's get into this, guys. Time is short, right? Time is running out, and I definitely want to talk about this because I think that this is important. Oh, and just for all the haters out there, just so anybody knows, I gave every one of these puppies away. I'm not having a puppy mill. I'm not trying to breed puppies to make money. Unfortunately, Kali got knocked up by her brothers, and she had a litter. The puppies, all really, really good dispositions, but every puppy was given away to a good family, and I asked for no money for any of those puppies. Not that it's anybody's business, but I just thought I would share that. So the haters can't come on here and say blah, 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 blah. So whatever, you know what I mean? So now everybody knows. So there we are. So, but anyway, and I'm happy to say that a lot of my group members did take a dog. So again, I think that's awesome because I'll get to see them, and see the puppies grow and get bigger. So that's fun too. Okay, now let's get into this topic, guys. All right. The deadline, right? By Trump. Trump made a deadline for today, Friday, right? Friday was the deadline. He said, you need to, Here's what Iran is doing, guys. Okay, and tell me if you think I'm wrong in this assessment. I believe Iran is just stalling for time, playing the game that they've played with every other president out there. And that's it. What is going on with the other man won't sell that sliver of land? There'll be more going on than the guy is saying. No, Morning Light. If he sold it, then he would sell it. Whatever. I don't care. It's his property. He can do whatever he wants with it. You know what I mean? He can do whatever he wants with it. But he wouldn't sell it. So that little sliver. Well, he wouldn't sell the other part to me either, right? Backed out on that deal 2 weeks before we were supposed to close. So it happens. It is what it is. So, but anyway, so I believe Iran has been stalling for time, playing games, which they have been doing for how many years, through how many presidencies, and Republican presidencies, Democratic presidencies, and now back Republican presidency again, right? Been playing a game the whole time. But the difference is this time you have internal conflict in the country that the people of Iran are saying they've had enough. Yeah, Iran is moving money around. Of course, they're doing everything that they can possibly do to get ready to deal with whatever. You know what I mean? So Iran is stalling because they don't take President Trump seriously. I think after the whole thing with Argentina, I think people are taking President Trump pretty seriously. And I will tell you what. Now, wouldn't it be ironic? Wouldn't it be ironic, right? What is the Muslim holiday that's coming up, right? Ramadan, right? Muslim holiday coming up. Wouldn't it be ironic if that's when they attacked? Isn't that interesting? Because that's what they like to do on Jewish holidays, right? The Muslims like to attack, Israel on Jewish holidays. So it would almost be poetic justice. And I'm just saying, it's just because the correlation is so close and that's what they're getting ready to deal with. But topped off gas, bought more chicken food, took a sedative, right? Ramadan's already started. I have no idea. But and how long does that last for? Average Joe's life. It ends March 19th. Thank you. You answered the question before I even got to ask it. But so right now is Ramadan, right? Wouldn't it be ironic? The deadline's up, folks. We have the pieces in play right now in the region. Now, I did see something interesting today. The interesting thing that I saw, there was an analyst. What do they call? Hold on a second. One of the people that assesses a situation. I don't remember how to say the freaking name. But anyway, he was saying that with analyst. Yes, thank you. I couldn't get it out. I didn't know I couldn't say it. But thank you, Elvont. Yes, an analyst. And what he was saying was because we have so many ships in the region that it was almost like we're goading Iran into attacking one of these ships. And if they did, then we could unleash fury, on them. Now, I will tell you what. They were doing it in 1979, and I was going through basic training, and they told us to get ready. Yeah, it's been going on forever and a day. It's been going on forever and a day with that whole situation over there. And but the problem is the difference, and not the problem, but the difference is now the Iranian people have had enough. They don't want to be under this kind of a dictatorship anymore. And the government has cracked down. When your own government starts to kill you, when your own government starts to kill you, that's an issue. That's an issue, and it should be an issue. When they're, it's a big problem, and we're talking about thousands of people, from according to reports. Can't say if they're confirmed or not confirmed, but they're basically, the reports are saying that the Iranian government has killed up to 10,000 protesters. I mean, we're not talking, just a couple. We're talking about a lot of people. So Elvon says 35 to 60,000. Wow. Okay. Well, that would even be more, a lot more. But again, that's ridiculous when that type, because they're cracking down because they don't, they want to stay in power and in charge. All governments want to stay in power and in charge. That's just the reality of it. Assad was in power and in charge for a long, long time, right? So, and eventually, he got driven out. Now, is our finger in those kind of pies? Wouldn't shock me. Wouldn't shock me if there was a lot of covert actions and money being spread around and all those type of things. Would not shock me at all. Iran is not an original Islamic nation. No, they're not. No, they're not. So, like I said, I think the people have had You look back, guys. If you look at the pictures of Iran back in the early 70s, before the Shah was imposed and they took over, it was very Western country. A lot of freedoms, and here's the thing that kills me, okay? And like I said, again, I don't care what religion you're, I don't care what you believe, but when you have a religion that does nothing but oppress women, right? Nothing but oppress women, right? Yeah, cigarettes and miniskirts. Absolutely, Alvant. So you have a religion that treats women basically like cattle, right? They're married off. These girls are at a super young age, arranged marriages. They don't even know who this husband is. This is the guy. This is who you're marrying, and some of these girls are way too young to be getting married. And now you live in a country like the United States of America, right, with a lot of freedoms, we have our issues, folks. I mean, don't get me wrong. We have a tremendous amount of issues in this country, okay? But this is the best country in the world. This is the best country in the world. I don't care what anybody says. You have a lot more opportunities here. There's a lot more freedoms here than anywhere else. So, that's a big thing. But anyway, so these people come here and they want to turn it into exactly what they left from, where they were, where it was a bad situation. I was just listening to somebody, and she was talking about fighters when they capture women, right, in battle, right? Those women becomes that fighter's property. Their property. So they can do whatever they want to those women. They can force them to have sex because they're their property. Now, I want you to think about that. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with your daughters being involved, or your wives or whatever being involved with some kind of crap like that? That ain't who we are in America. Okay. I'll tell you what, I mean, and I love the UK. I think the UK's, most of the people over there are decent. They're lost. The Muslims have taken over so many places over there. It is ridiculous. And they're trying to do it here as well. And they have a game plan, folks. They plan on breeding us out. That's the game plan. So they got a 100-year plan. They're not thinking about, they're doing what they can now. They're making inroads. If you can, obviously pay attention, right? In politics, they got all these now Muslim, people going into office, and, they're slowly, getting their claws into that and trying to shape laws and everything. We're going to have to stop it. If we don't stop it, then our kids and our grandkids are going to be the ones that have to fight to stop it. And how's that going to go, right? So, yep, aim small, miss small. Exactly. But again, these are the things that are happening. They came over here. They don't want to assimilate to America. They don't want to be part of the melting pot like so many of our ancestors did. I mean, our ancestors came from all over Europe and everywhere else, in Africa and Asia. They all came here. Now, don't get me wrong. Do the Chinese have a tendency to stick together and be in their own little areas, and you have like Chinatown, right? Everybody knows that, right? And that's fine. But they're not coming over here looking to take over the country and to tell you how to live your lives, and now you got to follow their religion and all that type of stuff. That's not what they're doing. They'll come over here, they'll work 15, 16 hours a day. They'll all live together and they work hard. Okay. And that's the reality of it. The people from South America that come here, those are hardworking people too. And a lot of them do the jobs that Americans won't do or don't want to do. So, there's that on top of that. So there's a lot of issues with that whole situation. A lot of issues with that whole situation. But we still are. And again, in my opinion, I think we're the best country in the world. Why do you think everybody wants to come here? Why do they all want to come here? Right. So think about that too. But we got 230 in the chat, guys. We got 99 thumbs up. If you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. Again, I do appreciate that. It really does make a huge, huge difference with the algorithm. So the more interaction, the better. So I do appreciate it for that reason as well. Also, again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, I thank you ahead of time for that also. So anyway, continuing on with this stuff. So I want to go back to so right now, in Denmark, the Muslims do the same. Oh yeah. It's Sweden, Denmark. And I want you to think about this. Like, you go into a lot of these European countries where a lot of these Muslims have gone, right? What's one of the things that has increased exponentially in those countries? I'm going to, in the chat, I want you to answer me. What do you think, since the Muslim population moved into a lot of these European countries, UK, Sweden, all over there, all over Germany, all over Europe, what is the one thing that is exponentially increased in those areas? One thing that's increased exponentially. Not talking about no-go zones. Nope, not talking about that. Crime. What crime? Which crime? And I'll tell you in a second. And you can look up the numbers, folks. You can look up the numbers, and numbers will back up exactly what I'm saying. There you go. Lady Kickboxer got it. Finally, somebody. Rape. They feel it's perfectly okay to rape these women because they're not Muslim. They're not Muslim. So rapes are up. I mean, crime is up a lot as well. Okay. But rapes are up huge in any one of these countries, the UK, France, Germany, Sweden, all that type of stuff. People talked about no-go zones. Those are actually absolutely happening in those areas as well, right? Lots more crime as well, because they come in there, and the minute you say anything, and again, see, and this is getting old, okay? This is getting old, and people are tired of this. The minute you say anything, you're a racist, right? That ain't gonna wash forever, folks. I think a lot of boys sometimes too, absolutely, yeah, and young girls, and also boys, yeah, that's fact, okay? That is a fact. So and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of good people that are Muslim, so I'm not like ripping and tearing apart all these Muslims, but it's just when you're bringing in low IQ, and I'll use Somalians, right? I'm going to use Somalians, low IQ individuals that are so inbred that it's ridiculous. It's craziness, guys. It's absolutely craziness. So, but someday people will show them how they act as if they were racist. Yeah, well, again, like I said, at some point, people are going to have enough, and the hammer's going to get dropped down on these folks. That's the reality of it. I see these people talk, and they get going on about, bring it on, Republicans, we're ready, we're ready to go to war. Those people ain't got a clue. They have not got a clue. They don't have any kind of clue whatsoever. If they ever unleashed the people that have had enough, and we put our foot down and said, all right, here we go, right? It would be on. Um, it would not end well. It would not end well at all. So, but because we know what bathroom to use, right? We know we've most of us that are more conservative, we've been brought up with weapons and know how to use them. A lot of ex-military, and and we're comfortable in the woods. We're not afraid of the dark. So it's just there's going to be a breaking point, and how that looks and what happens. But if there's let's put it like this, guys: if there was a collapse, nonsense is over. Nonsense is over. I'm telling you that right now. All these small towns, country, you get out in the country, they ain't putting up with that crap, right? No more prancing around. No more acting like a fool. No more sitting there with your, thinking you're a cat or a dog and all this other crap. Yeah, opening day of hunting season. It would end. It would absolutely end. The sad part, realistically, is you would have groups of white people that would target other groups. You would have groups of black people that would target other groups. And that's a fact, because there are people out there filled with so much hatred for each other just because of the color of somebody's skin. It would not be good. And what I think what people lose sight of, okay, people lose sight of, the black population is 13% of the population in the United States. White people are still dominant right now, right? White people are still dominant right now in the U.S. The Hispanic community is growing exponentially, right? The Asian community is, not as big. Well, I don't think would ever be as large as the other ones, but it's just yeah. I'm like the angry prepper. I'm not racist. I hate everyone. I've actually said that to people. I go, I hate everyone equally. What I can't stand is stupidity. Okay, I can't stand stupidity. That's what drives me crazy, to be honest with you. But I do want to keep. I'm getting off track, but I want to get back on track and talk about like the Middle East and what's going on. We have a lot of ships there now. Okay, a lot of ships in the Middle East, and those are out sitting on those waters, man, and they are targets. And there have been events in the past where to get people on board, events have happened, right? You want to get the American people pissed off and get them behind something? Attack us, sink a ship, whatever the case may be. And we will rain down fire and hell fury on you. And that's what we'll do. We don't need to put boots on the ground. You know, any of these countries over there, couple of tactical nuclear weapons, and that's the end of the story. Okay, serious, and that's call it what you will, but that's a fact. This is why you never hear of groups like Antifa or BLM in small towns. Crafty Rat One, you are 100% correct, and thank you very much for the donation as well. Yeah, you won't see that in small towns because it don't fly. Small towns, everybody knows each other. Everybody knows each other. And if you don't know somebody personally, you generally know people by reputation. This one's a troublemaker. Watch out for them. These people are pretty stand up. All those things. You're gonna get that. You're gonna hear that type of things. But yeah, a small town can make you disappear off the map. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. And again, when the time comes, a lot of these small towns, folks, are going to circle the fences. They're going to circle the fences because that's what they're going to need to do for long-term survival. They're like, we have our place here, right? We're an off-grid community of people working together, getting ready, right? So we have that. There's a lot of those out here. There's a lot of people Ed, when you bought the land, you were told you could put a house on that hill and then put up a fence. And now this, do you think this seller is shady? Oh, I don't trust him, Ricky Bobby, for a second. No, no, I don't trust this kid for a second. I trust him as far as I could pick him up and throw him, which ain't far. Okay, so no, he lost. I will explain this to you guys again. Okay, and I've talked about this before. You get one shot with me, one shot. You screw me over, you lie to me, you do me dirty, we're done. There is no more second chances. Now, I can let things go. I had to let go of my anger over him reneging on that deal, which I was highly pissed off about. Okay. Highly pissed off about. We were going to pay him way more than he paid for that property. Okay. He reneged on the deal. I was very, very upset. And I talked a whole bunch of crap. And I talked a whole bunch of crap to his face. Okay. So it's not like I just went around to talk to everybody else. I told him directly as well. I said, I will eviscerate you. I will tell everybody what a piece of garbage you are for reneging on this deal. And I did. I told everybody. Okay. And then I had to sit down and think about this. And I said, I got to let this go. This kid's my neighbor. All right. He might not like me, and I don't like him very much, but we're going to have to get along. It's not like he lives there. He does not live there. It's just his property. He lives somewhere else. So I went last year and I spoke with him. I initiated it. And I said, listen, I know some things have been said and blah, 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 blah. Let's start fresh. And that's what we decided to do. And that's where we're at this point in time. And so, that's what we had to do just for our own mental health, or I had to do it for my mental health. Now, he may still hate my guts. I don't care about that. I do not care about that. Steve told me, he goes, he's scared of you, man. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, he's afraid of you. And I said, well, that's always a healthy thing in some cases. But like I said, I'm not trying to intimidate this kid at all. I'm not trying to intimidate anybody. That guy offering to move the cabin wasn't the other property owner. No, that was, I believe, I'm not 100% sure. That was either his father or his father-in-law, but I believe it was his father. But it was very nice of him to make that offer. But when I talked to the couple that owns the building, Paul and Barbara, they were like, yeah, we can move that, but thank you. So I let them know. Does your driveway go through their property? So the driveway itself, there's been an easement from the very beginning, from the road, the driveway itself, all the way up to the cemetery. Okay. Now, and I can't say that this would have happened, but let's say, because he thought the property line went to the pine tree. So he thought he owned from the pine tree. So like, here's the driveway, and there's a big pine tree on this left-hand side. Okay. He thought that the property line went over by that pine tree. Now, he could have, at that point, if that had been the case, he could have said, I don't want that driveway there. You can't use that driveway. If that had been his property, he could have done that. Okay. Thankfully, that's not the case. So the driveway coming up the hill into the lower meadow from the upper meadow, that's all mine. The driveway coming in so that you have access to the graveyard, that's part of the easement for anybody that would be coming back here. So like the people that I bought the property from, they have relatives buried in that cemetery. And I have said from the very beginning, Ed, you mentioned your last payment will be this September. He won't. I don't know what do you mean, JJ? That one word I'm not. He won't something. Then will he renege? Is that what you're talking? No. I bought this property from somebody completely different. I didn't buy it from him. He bought. The deal that I had for the property here, that's all black and white. That was through a lawyer. So that when I bought this property, we went through a lawyer, you know, and we did it the legal way. So this is all legal, even though it was a private mortgage. So no, he knows. I was talking to him actually last month, and I said, "Yeah, man, we're getting down there. September's coming." He goes, "I'm happy and sad at the same time." He goes, "I'm happy that you're going to be done." He goes, "But I'm going to miss that money every month." And I go, "I get it." You know what I mean? Because it's been 5 years. So, anyway, so I think that if that property had been on his, he could have been a jerk about it. I don't know if he would have been, but he could have been. Because just like I said, when I said to him, "Hey, I'll buy that little strip," he said no. When I said, "If you would like me to maintain that little strip," he said no, because then you could say, "Well, I've been taking care of it, so now after a certain amount of time, now that it's mine." And I said, "Dude, we could do up a paperwork to a notary saying that yes, I acknowledge that this property is yours. It's not abandoned property. It's yours. I would just cut it." And he said, "No, I don't." And so and like Rob said, he goes, "Where they got the stakes and they're going to cement them in." No, he's not going to move his fence, but that he's got stakes in. And he plans on concreting the stakes in, which whatever, it's his property, he can do whatever he wants. I don't, like I said again, I don't care. I don't care. But like Rob said, he goes, "Why would you cut it?" He goes, "Let it overgrow over there. Who gives a crap?" He says, "You now know what your property line is." He goes, "I wouldn't cut it." And he's right. I'm not going to. Not going to. No, he's not going to move his fence. I doubt very much he's going to move his fence. So he's going to have a dead area there, which again, it's his. He can do whatever he wants with it. I don't care. I really, truly do not care. So, so yes, talking about the cemetery. So I had agreed, and it's in the contract as well, because I said I will never not allow you or any relatives to visit the graveyard. And I don't maintain inside the fencing of the graveyard. I do not maintain that. I don't touch that. So the family will come out and they cut inside the graveyard. I don't touch it. So that's that's a big part of it. But again, I never stop anybody from coming out to visit their dead relatives. I would never do that. So, guys, we got 299 people in the chat. We're at 145 thumbs up. We got to try to hit 200 tonight. I know Fridays are usually not as busy. Does your guy buying the guy that you're buying the property of other property for sale? I know. Well, one of the ladies that follows this channel, actually, she's from Connecticut. She bought property from him, and her and her kids have been working on that property. They got a building in there right now, and they plan on putting another building in this year. So they're definitely, and they're waiting on one relative to pass away, and then she plans on moving down here. And how many graves are there? I think there's like 6 or 7, maybe. I'm not 100% sure. I never really check. I don't check. It's not my business. So what? No. We've already had this discussion, young lady. No is the answer. So, but anyway, so it's just that's how. Okay, you got to get down now, baby. Get down. So that's how that goes. It's just like so anyway, if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, please do so. The cemetery in the Upper Meadow, yes, yep. So again, it really does help with the algorithm. So the more interaction, the better, and I do appreciate that. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, I thank you ahead of time for that as well. But yeah, we got to hit at least 200 thumbs up today. Got to have that, because why not, right? Oh, she's such a, I know, yes. Yeah, look at those sweet eyes looking. And as soon as you said that, I turned, there she is looking right at me. So, but anyway, no, it's just, I, from the hunting app, it looked like the property line was on the other side of the driveway. So, it was a private cemetery. Yes. So he wanted to know exactly what the line was, and I get it. No, I already told you no, so stop. No. No. Don't look at me like that. You're not going out. No. That's it. Oh, she's always back talking. She's a sasser, that one. She's a sassy girl. But anyway, I mean, it's good to know now. We know exactly where the line is. Ends the issues, no problems. I told them we're going to move the building. We'll get the stuff that's on that side. We'll get that all out of there as well. Because, there's like blocks and stuff like that. We'll get it all off his property. It's not a big deal. So, that's where we're at, and that's what's happening. So, part of what happens, unfortunately, and, it was a misunderstanding. Neither one of us did it deliberately. Right. So, that's it, but it's part, like I said, it's all part of that process, and you're dealing with it. And, he wanted to know, and I get it. Cause like I said, I'm getting buildings, there's buildings going in up there. So, he wanted to know, making sure that these things weren't on their property. And actually, like I said, Paul and Barbara's building, the back corner is right. Like here's the stake, and then their building is right next to it. Now in the front, there's about 18 inches in front of the building, so it's like it kind of curves a little. So part of their building is on that property. So, and like I said, he wasn't being a jerk. I wasn't being a jerk. A question off topic: how hard physically for you to, as you get older, for an off-grid property? Well, being honest, I can't go like I used to go. That's a straight up fact. I mean, as you get older, you definitely can't go like you used to go. I'm in pretty good physical health, other than being too fat. That's a fact too. I'm too fat. So it's like, and I can do something about that. I can lose weight. So, being active really makes a difference. I will tell you, for me, I didn't realize you own that Upper Meadow. Oh yeah, all that, yeah. Where all those buildings that we've put in up there, yeah, that's all part of my I got 25 acres, guys. So I got a decent parcel of land, and of the 25 acres, I would say 8 of it is open, and the rest is woods. So I love it. I absolutely love it, and the fact that I'm as far back in here as I am, I love that as well. So like I had, I'll tell you something, like with this kid, the last 2 years in a row. Okay, so when I first came down here and I bought the property, he put 4 loads of gravel in the driveway. Okay, 4 loads of gravel in the driveway. Since then, he has not put any in the driveway. He did like a trailer load where he goes through for his opening to get into his field, to go over where he's got like his little building that he has over there. He put some stone in there. All right. But as far as the regular driveway itself, not one more anything in there. And I had asked him the last 2 years in a row, are you going to put anything into the driveway this year? I've been maintaining the driveway. Me and the group have been maintaining the driveway all this time, and we got a lot of money into this driveway. And just walk up and down the hill 10 times a day. That'll keep you in shape. Oh yeah, it will. I made, like, today was 2 trips up and down. But yeah, I've been trying to do that on a regular basis, just because it really is a great way. Go up, go all the way down, walk down to Paul and Barbara's, turn around, come back, and walk back up, and then back down a hill, turn around and do it again. That will definitely get you in much, much better shape. But anyway, so last year when I said something about, well, I'm not fat, I'm gravitationally challenged. I like that. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And so instead of growing up, I'm growing out. So anyway, so when I was saying to his relatives last year, when I was not being very nice about him, I was like, yeah, he didn't even put squat in his driveway since the very beginning, since I got here. And they're like, well, you're the one that uses it most. I go, yeah, but he's still using the driveway. So he should realistically, I don't care if he put, folks, if he put one load of gravel, 25 tons, if he did one load of gravel a year in the driveway, that helps him, right? Because it makes the driveway better for him to drive down, but it makes it better for us. And then, oh, Red Dog Saloon. Yeah, this shirt was given to me actually by a subscriber that watches the channel. But so yeah, that was you know, but they're that's their mindset. Well, you use it more. Well, so what? But I don't care. Like I said again, we're gonna do what we got to do. We're gonna take care of our business, and I'm not gonna worry about it. I'm just not. So we got to do egg count, guys. There's a strip club in Ale named that. Oh, okay, that's actually pretty funny. Um, so how many eggs today? Yes or no for Miss Betty White? And how many Easter eggers laid today? So I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses in, and we will go from there. So again, if you have not shot that thumbs up yet, we need 20 more thumbs up to hit 200. So I do appreciate that. And like I said, again, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. And again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, ahead of time, I thank you for that. And we're going to, right after egg count, I'm going to talk more about what's going on in the Middle East too. I want to get back on that topic a little bit. Give you guys just one more minute to get your guesses in. So we still need 17 more thumbs up, guys. 17 more thumbs up. Yep, Arizona iced tea. Love it. Arizona iced tea. They haven't raised the price the entire time. It's still the same price. Okay, so it doesn't look like anybody's going to have the right guess today. We ended up with 7 eggs today, no Miss Betty White today, and only 1 Easter egger. But the egg counts are going up, which is a good thing. But we're just we need more consistency. Today, like I say, today was an absolutely gorgeous day. Hopefully tomorrow's supposed to be another gorgeous day, and we'll kind of go from there. We'll see how they do tomorrow. But we're like our coldest day for the next 7 days is going to be Monday, and the high is going to be 43. By Friday or Thursday, Friday of next week, our overnight low is going to be 44. So, I think I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I am hoping that we are past the worst of this and we're going to start easing into nicer weather. And so that would be good as well. But, okay. So going back, talking about here, they are telling in Israel, they're telling non essential personnel, families of Americans stationed in Israel, if you want to leave, now is the time to leave. Okay. They're telling people that if there's any Americans in Iran, your window of time to get out of there is closing. So, you really should get out. Okay. They're locking down bases. I think they've actually moved one base already because it was so close that it would be an easy, quick target for Iran if they decided to go after that base. We have moved a tremendous amount of assets into the region. I don't think people realize how much that costs. Okay. It's not fat, it's a savings account. Yeah, there you go. I don't think people realize how much it costs to put those kind of assets into that region. It costs a lot of money, guys, a lot of money to get them all over there. And there's a lot of buildup in the region. For the first time ever, we have planes that are in Israel that we have put in there strategically. I don't think it's a matter of if. I don't think it's a matter of if. I think it's a matter of when. So they can say, we tried diplomatically. Iran would not work with us. We could not get a deal. We have no other choice. And again, it'll be feathered over, fluffed over with sugar. We're doing it for the Iranian people that are being oppressed. They're wanting a regime change, and the regime is killing them. How long do your eggs last? Do you wash them or leave them naturally like Japan and Euros people do? I do not wash my eggs. There's a coating on every egg that's a natural coating, okay, that you do not have to refrigerate those eggs, and they will last up to at least 6 weeks. So now I rotate my eggs, guys. I rotate my eggs. So the oldest ones, like I have, okay, I have 4 dozen basically at most times in the battery room. All right. I have about a dozen eggs sitting out here on the counter. If I get in the mood, I'll call Steve up and go, hey, man, you want some eggs? And he'll go, yeah, sure. I'll cook up 10 eggs at a time. Okay. Every day, Kali and the puppies are getting 3 eggs. And even though now we're down to 2 puppies left with Kali, they're still getting 3 eggs a day. I'm giving Caesar an egg, Zeus an egg, and Genghis an egg. So, right there, that's 6 eggs a day at least. So it depends on what I'm bringing in. When we were not getting a lot of eggs, just Kali and the puppies got eggs. So, but yeah, no, I don't wash the eggs. I keep them out on a counter. They don't go in the refrigerator. So that's how I do it. And they will last just fine. And you got about 6 weeks. Now, you can water glass your eggs. They'll last longer. You can do that as well. But I like giving eggs to my dogs. It helps their coats, and it's good for them. So I do that as well. And I'll tell you what, I eat a lot of eggs myself because I enjoy them. So, but I did not make the egg salad sandwich yet. I was actually thinking I'm going to have to hard boil up a couple eggs and do that. Yeah, F-22 Raptors landed in Israel. Will be the first time in a combat role. We have 187 of them. Might as well use them. See how stealthy they are. Oh, and I'm going to tell you again, folks, it's a matter of time. We are going to attack Iran. I have no doubt in my mind. Now, if we don't do it and they come to a diplomatic agreement, then you can come back on here and say, Ed, you were wrong. You said that they were going to do this, which is fine. I don't have a problem. I just don't see that we're doing all the things that we're doing. Just like Argentina, folks. We put a lot of assets down in Argentina, right? They came up with a plan, and then they enacted it. Now, I thought, if you guys remember, if you watched the video when we attacked Argentina late at night, I thought that we were invading them, and I did not want to see that. I did not realize, obviously, because I'm not in the loop. Hesseg and the president are not calling me to let me know what's going on. I just want to be clear, okay? I don't know, so I'm not in the loop. I'm being sarcastic, but I thought we were invading, and I didn't want to see that. I don't want us to get involved with more wars. I don't want our young men and women to be in harm's way. What they did there, or Venezuela? Yes, I'm sorry. Didn't I say Venezuela? What did I say? Well, I said Argentina, didn't I? I did. Okay, sorry. Yep. Okay. Venezuela. What we did there, we put all those assets down there. We didn't put them there for nothing. We were going to do something, and we did. So now we have a lot of assets in the Middle East. And again, they're targets, folks. They are targets. Yeah, Iran won't back down. They won't make a deal. They will not make a deal. And we're not going to back down either. And so something's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. And what happens as a result of that, right? Will we take casualties? Will they go after our ships? That's a real possibility. Could we lose some ships? That is also a very real possibility. So those are things you have to pay attention to. Will sleeper cells in the United States be activated? That is a real possibility. So again, those are things you really need to be, can we do anything to change that? We cannot. Okay. We cannot. There's nothing we're going to be able to do to change what they're going to do. They can sit there and do their little dance in Washington and say everything that they're going to say. But the people in charge are going to do what they're going to do. How many, and here's what kills me. It depends on who the president is, I guess, right? Because when Obama was in office, how many drone strikes did he do? How many civilians did he kill? Okay, going after, we got our target, and then there was the collateral damage. That's a great way of saying, and we killed his entire family, because that's what it is. That's what they do. I saw that too, JJ, and who knows if that's true or not. They're saying that JJ saying that China is there. It's alleged that China is supplying Iran with weapons that can be used, missiles to go after the ships. Again, not a good situation. Oh yeah. I did see that Pakistan went and killed a bunch of the Taliban. They killed a religious leader yesterday. And they said that the Taliban and Iran are now allies in the region. Timing is very suspicious. Yeah, like I said, again, a couple of well-placed nuclear weapons, and that's the end of that. It really is. Game over. So, will they do it that way? Probably not. I want you to remember the last time when we went over and we bombed those Iranian installations, right? The alleged atomic sites. When we did that, all right? When we did that, and Israel helped us in that whole situation, we went in, bombed out their radar installations, took care of that. That got knocked out, went in, bombed it, and then turned around and left. And those planes flew from the U.S. They did not, they did not go. Now we got, okay, stop. My God. Hold on, guys. 3 minutes. You couldn't wait 3 freaking minutes? No. Bonnie, come on. Good girl. I thought I saw you. You're all a little black in the dark. Calico cat. I thought I saw movement on the ground, and it was Miss Bonnie. So anyway, but again, what I'm always going to encourage you guys. Okay, we have to control what we can control. Okay, let's not forget Trump used the Moab bomb the last time he was in office. Yes, he did. The mother of all bombs. Oh yeah, she's the boss. I just delay. That's my thing. I'm delaying. I don't want her to be out there forever and a day while I'm doing a live stream, because then I got to keep getting up and going and checking. So just a couple of minutes left, and she had kind of chilled out for a while. So, but again, control what you can control. Okay. That's it. Do what you can. Get ready. Get your supplies. Top off what you need to top off. Get those gas cans full. Get those propane tanks full. Get your alternative lighting ready. I want you to think about this. This pops off with Iran. Okay. What do you think is going to happen to oil prices? Because I don't know about you guys, but here in my region right now, gas prices are already up. For what reason? Why are they up? Right. So, again, the deadline was today. So do not be surprised if any point in time you have Rubio is set to go to Israel on Monday. He's going to be in Israel Monday and Tuesday. Okay. Is he going to go? If something pops off, he sure won't. But, do what you can, folks. Be ready. I don't think we have a lot of time. I really, really don't. You know what I mean? We don't have a lot of time. And, we got to take care of what we can take care of. Simple as that. So, anyway, guys, please be safe. Keep prepping. I'm going to leave you with my favorite saying, STD, step, thing, and day. It is one step at a time. It is one thing at a time. and it is one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to accomplish, you can do it. The only person that is going to stop you from reaching your goals, the realistic goals that you set, okay? I hope Heather is ready if she needs to head to UN. She is. She knows what she needs to do. She knows what she needs to do. Uh, Again, methodically, guys, work at it methodically. Stay away from negative people that tell you what you can't accomplish. And then once you accomplish your goal, what can they say? They can't say anything because you did exactly what you said you were going to do. So those are things you need to think about as well. Okay. Surround yourself with people that lift you up, not people that drag you down. Please be safe, guys. I will see you all on Sunday for the next live stream. It's 8 o'clock on Sunday night. And we'll see what happens over the weekend. But I don't think, I think within the next week, that's my guess. I'm not saying it's definitely going to happen this week. I'm not saying that. Do not be surprised. That's what I would say to you. Do not be surprised. And we got 208 thumbs up. So thank you guys for that as well. Appreciate it. So be safe, guys. I will talk to you all later. Prep Nurse 1 out for now.